Good morning, Warriors. Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys doing well this morning. It's getting a little colder. I like it. It's like our winter wonderland in the Midwest. We're starting to finally get to the cold weather that I've been looking for a long time. So hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are on your purpose. Hope you guys continue to follow the plan and retain your superpower as long as you can, my friends, as long as you can. So a lot of great comments, a lot of things over the last day or so. I did try to catch up yesterday a little bit, and now I have a number of people make great comments yesterday, so I'll get to those probably in the next couple of days as well. But I wanted to kind of focus on one since I'm going along to teach right now. And let me go ahead and kind of talk about one of them that our man Fabian talked to us about. And that's kind of how to use your energy. It's really not anything about the energy itself. It's all about how you use it. And I think he is so correct on this. So a shout out to you, Fabian. But let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. First, go ahead, please subscribe, like, comment. We're nearing 850, and I'm very grateful for that. And we have a lot of days. I think I'm getting close to 900 now on NoFap, and monk modes I think over 100 or something like that. So we're getting close to that too, and we're moving in the right direction. So I think we're over 100 and something by this point in time. So I got to take a look at that. Like I said, I don't really keep all that track of it. I'm only really doing it because this is the longest streak I've ever been on, and I just want to kind of see how long it can go. And then secondly, just to kind of give you guys as the viewers just an idea that it does work. And I know we had a comment like that again, a couple of comments yesterday on this too, that it does work. And I can't tell. I mean, people tell me that I have a glow. That's wonderful. I don't really see that as much. But then I am looking at myself all these years, so I probably missed it as well. But I do know the female attraction. I do know the clarity. I know that I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in, and I know that that success is there, and my anxiety level is down. All the great benefits are there. So the glow part, you guys tell me about. That's wonderful. I'm glad, and thank you guys for reaching out and letting me know that, and I appreciate that. So it works, my friends. And I don't think so many people would be talking about it. You guys are giving a lot of great testimonials about how people approach you and kind of talk with you, and that you're just kind of glowing. And it's very, very true. And it makes a lot of sense, because when you're talking about energy, you're really talking about the fact that we all are energy. If you think about it logically and not get caught up in the emotion of the media and all that kind of stuff that you hear, you're really going to kind of focus on knowing the idea that we are energy. I mean, we have to be energy, right? I mean, just think about the fact that when people pass away, that person, and I've seen both my parents pass away, that person's no longer there. You know that something's gone. I mean, obviously, you have a body that's decomposing in front of you. I don't sound gross here, but you have a body decomposing, right? But that person is no longer there. There's something missing. It's almost like a spark that you used to have in the carburetor and the engines to make the thing go. There's something missing there. And I think certainly that's one of the mysteries of our life, is knowing that is a spirit. That's a soul. And that leaves that body. And there's no doubt in my mind that happens. I've seen that, and you just see it. You just know this is not the same person that you used to know and love. So the thing about it is that we tend to kind of focus on the outside, and that's all we can do to kind of celebrate people and those side of things, but realizing that we are energy. There's an energy part of us, a spiritual part of us that a lot of us don't recognize, because we go day to day and we just kind of think about things in terms of the materialistic outside world. And that is so wrong, but it's so easy to accept, because that's what most people believe, because that's what they see. And they don't really want to believe in something they don't see, because they really have no idea about it, no control over it. And so why would they believe in something like that? And that's why this is a very difficult concept for 99% of the people, because they just don't believe that you should not listen to the scientists or so-called experts who have been wrong over and over and over again, many times over, on things. But they don't want to accept the fact that people are human and they make judgment errors and they can get, corrupted like anybody else. And we see corruption all over the place, right? So the thing about it is that you want to make sure that you're focusing your energy, because using your energy is the key type of thing. And so as we kind of go through this whole process, it's always important to realize that energy is there. Now, as Fabian correctly points out, it's got nothing to do with the energy itself. It's got nothing to do with anything around you. It's got everything to do with how you use the energy. And we talk about the fact that you either going to use it for good purposes or you just don't. And so again, this is the same type of thing. It's either you're serving the Lord or you're serving yourself. There's really no other option, because it's the way you look at life. And if you're serving yourself, you're not going to go ahead and conserve that energy. You have no reason to. You feel like it's something that is normal. You feel like it's part of the world and what the scientists and all other people are telling you should be. But you have no conceptualization of anything beyond what you see. And if you can't describe it from what you see, then it's not really happening. And this is the idea that a lot of people who live in the material world realize. I mean, they have to see it or else it doesn't believe. And so that's why it's hard for them to accept anything like miracles or anything like that, because they just don't see that God is behind all of this materialistic viewpoints and behind all these images and things that you see. And so that's why people create, idols and all these type of things, because they have to somehow believe that they create this energy. And they have to believe that they're the ones that are mastering it. I mean, why would you, think about this, guys. Why would you sit there, and I don't care what the idol is or the image is, why would you sit there and create an image and then worship it? I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, you created it. That means you're God. You're the one who created it. So it has to be something that you can't fathom or can't touch, and all you know is that something's there. And that's all you can do. And so at this point, it really goes back to how you use it. It really is kind of how you use the energy. So as I said, if you're going to take upon yourself the idea that you are God, you're not going to use the energy in an effective way. You're going to say, well, there is no energy because I can't see it, right? First of all. And second of all, there is no God, so why should I try to get closer to God by trying to keep my retention and keeping my semen inside of myself, my seed inside of myself? Why should I do that? There's no purpose for that. And so this all goes back down to what you believe. And if you believe that there is a reason to retain, then you're going to do that. Now, I will tell you that for 40 some odd years, I mean, I had trouble believing that. And I guess my belief has become stronger to the point where now I totally believe it. And I'm not going to go back to wasting my energy again, ever. I mean, I may relapse at one point or another, but I'm never going to go back into the lifestyle. Because that lifestyle is phony and false. It's that blue matrix we talked about, that people talk about all the time. It's not the real matrix. It's just something that the world, because we live in the world with the evil one, the world is trying to make you believe. And it's so false and so the opposite of what it should be. Anytime you hear something, you probably should be very skeptical. Be skeptical of the fact that it's probably the opposite of what you're seeing. So when we see this whole thing, and Fabian is exactly right again, I mean, we see this whole thing, we're really talking about what choice you're making and how to use the energy. It comes down to the fact that if you believe in something higher than yourself, you know that there's energy there, because you're believing in something you can't see. And so you have the faith then to believe that there's something else out there beyond what you're seeing. And as a result of that, then you're going to believe, okay, I can use this energy and transmute it to different things back in my body. See, if you didn't believe that, you would never even try it. And so it first starts with belief, and then it's a matter of getting the information and knowing how to transmute the energy, which we've talked about exercises to do that, and we've talked about ways of doing that. And we're also knowing that how to avoid temptation and avoid trying to, kind of get yourself down that same rabbit hole where you can't get back out because you're basically kind of falling victim to temptations left and right, and you're losing energy, and now you're becoming weaker, and now you're going in the other direction. And this is why it's important to keep going, keep trying, battling, continue to battle on, battle forever, because it's a lifestyle choice you're making. You're choosing to follow something that you just can't see. When we talk about this whole idea, yes, of course, I'm not talking about semen retention in many ways. I mean, it's part of it. But you're talking about following the God. You're following your God. Because this is what God gave you as your whole body. And if you look at, and I look at the Bible because obviously that's the thing that I read all the time. But the idea in the Bible talks about the fact that you should not be discharging and releasing all the time. In fact, you should only be doing it for procreation, in my opinion. And I think if you're going to go ahead and release, it should be for a good purpose. And I think each one of us kind of have to make that choice. But I think also the idea is you're realizing you're going to lose energy. Now, if you don't believe in that, well, that's a whole different issue about you and your faith. And I encourage you to go ahead and think about, what position you hold and all the things that have happened in life. You'll find that a lot of those things have been directed by your God. And I think that, you have to recognize as somebody greater than us. And if you do that, then I believe then it's a little bit easier to kind of say, okay, well, what is it? And how do I find out more about this God? On the other hand, I think certainly as you look at retention, you realize that the evil one is there. Again, that's something a lot of people don't want to believe because they don't see it. They think it's a mythical type movie or some kind of image put up, and the images put up are probably false, though there's probably some truth in every image that's put up there about the evil one. But the thing is that it is something that you should avoid. It is real. And I know people want to laugh and joke about it, but the idea, guys, is that if you believe that it's real, you're going to avoid all that temptation. You're going to try to follow the commandments. You're going to have a fear of the Lord. You're going to try to go ahead and live the best life that you can and avoid all those temptations as much as possible. And this is why we say that it's important for you to have a good base and start off with this. And it took a long time for me to get that foundation. Now, once you have that base, now it's a matter of how you use energy. And like we said, the best way to use energy is to transmute it and to find things that can get you involved in using the energy in a positive way. So, for example, when we're talking about trying to exercise, it's important to use exercise as a vehicle to go ahead and work on bettering your body, bettering your situation, bettering your finances, bettering everything you're doing. You're going to get up earlier. You're going to be able to have more energy and use energy to get things done. Whether you're doing things around the house and you got a day of relaxation, you can do stuff around the house, getting stuff repaired, going out like I was doing the other day, working on the ground and working in the fields. I guess I call them. They're not the fields, but they're in the backyard. Working in the yard, trying to get things done there before it started snowing yesterday, or trying to go ahead and kind of bettering your health, bettering who you are, bettering your relationships. All those things are factors that can help you when it comes to being a more efficient person for the Lord that you can be. But the thing is that as you think about this, it's important to recognize that you are not alone. You're not the person, even though you may feel that you're inside yourself and you're a single entity. Everyone else is connected to you in some way, and in fact, the Lord is the person who I believe is inside of you. And when something happens, that conscious, that idea is a thing that brings you to make the right decision, especially if you're trained in the word of the Lord. Now, I feel very sorry for those people who have not been trained in the Lord, and they have to come to it in different ways. This is why I think parenting and bringing people up the right way is important. Installing the Word of God in them is very, very important. Making sure your God is with the children is important. And we have a lot of generations here of children that don't know God, don't know their God. And I think it's important for us to kind of set examples as good warriors and role model warriors, to be able to say this is the way we should behave. So using this energy in productive ways is crucial. But it all comes back down to this whole idea of how do you use your energy? Are you using it for good purposes? Are you using it for God and trying to better mankind and better the world around you and making the world a better place? Or are you focusing on making a better place for you? Are you focusing on yourself? Are you focusing on trying to gain as much as you can at the expense of other people? And there's a lot of people out there, and once again, I'm not judging any person. I believe that the evil one is inside possessing some of these people to do things. They're just not aware of it. And I think I have felt that before in my life. And that's why, once again, I go back. Everything I say goes back to my experiences. So I don't have obviously any kind of research on that, even though you could probably look at the Bible and talk about the Bible and a lot of things that the Bible is saying. But the idea that you're focusing really on is the idea that you really want to realize that you are not alone in this world. And this material world is only one part of the world. There's a whole spiritual world behind this of energy. And if you think everything is made of energy, then you know that there is. I mean, something happens to us when we pass away. And when you talk about hell or heaven, that's an interesting kind of concept to look at. Why would they talk about that unless something happens to you at this point? And what happens? It's not your body that's going. It's that energy, that soul that leaves your body. So this is why, guys, it's really important to focus on the energy and realizing there's another world behind what you're seeing. And yes, people can manifest themselves and what they look like after they've lived their life. But the idea that you really kind of want to focus on is, how do I better myself? How do I make myself better for the Lord and fulfill the purposes that He's with you? And I think you do that by the way you use your energy. So, Fabian, great point. A shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for contributing, as all you guys have. And I hope everybody has a great day today. And hope you guys are going to continue with your battle, continue to work well, and continue to battle on. Remember, every day is a great day to a wise warrior. And until tomorrow, my friends, continue to battle on, and God bless each one of you. Battle on!